Hi there, Diane Evans here with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in British Columbia. So if this is one of your first times joining me on my YouTube, I'm so glad that you did find me. But another thing is that I hope that you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel. And in that way, and hit the bell, and that way you'll get notified immediately as soon as I upload a new video. So today what I want to do is I want to show you actually a card that I've done for a swap using the Beautiful Nature's Harvest bundle. This bundle, if you do buy it as a bundle, gets you save 10%, but it's also part of this beautiful suite that can be found on page 54 and 55 of the J2D catalog. Now, like I say, it has beautiful stuff. It has this type-worn embossing folder here. It's a must-have. This one, I think, is going to be a staple. It has these beautiful brushed metallic dots, cork paper, although I didn't use any of that, but I did use this beautiful designer series paper on there as well. So, like I say, buy it together, and it's a bundle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make this card. Now, I've gone kind of with non-traditional colors, but I let the designer series paper basically tell me which colors to use. So this one here is, this is a soft succulent, but this is from that, the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. And on the other side is this one here. And I'm using the soft succulent for this. Now, what I'm actually doing today is I am making a buckle fold card. So basically, this is 7 inches by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4 inches from this side here. And then I'm folding into the mountain. So let's go ahead and score that, get that good and scored. And then I have a piece of this designer series paper. The designer series paper is 2 1/4 by 5 inches, and this one is 2 1/2 by 5 1/4 inches to go on there. I have a piece of this soft succulent, which is 4 by 5 1/4. All of these measurements will be on my blog, and there'll be a link to my blog. I also have a piece of this basic white, and I've got it at 3 3/4 by, oh my goodness, 2 inches. And I've scored it at the 1/2 inch mark. And this is what's going to allow me to get in so that I can actually do a buckle fold. And then I've got another piece here. This is 3/4, 3/8, 7/8. Oh my goodness, how can I not remember this? This is 1 5/8 by 2 3/4 inches, and that's what layers onto this piece here. Now, there happens to be some writing on this paper, so you want to make sure that you get that part of the writing up correctly. So I'm going to go in with my all-purpose glue. Oh boy, did that ever come out. I really don't want that on there. So I'm actually going to come in with the piece of paper, and I'm going to actually take part of this off. Isn't that awful how that just oozed out of there so quickly? And then, like I say, I'm going to make sure that I've got this going the right way with the printing on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's just put this part on here. So we've got that ready to go. See if that's straight. I do have a tiny bit of wiggle room, so this is the part that's going to show. So, my goodness, I'm going to have to take that off very quickly and get it back on. All right. So there we go. That's better. And then I'm also going to go ahead and do the same with this. Just a thin layer is all I really need. And I'm going to put this, making sure that I've got the writing going the right way. And we'll put that onto there. And this is the part that's going to be, we're going to make into the buckles. So what I want to do is I want to get this on here, and then we've got to run this part through the with the cut and emboss machine. This is just going to go on the front of this card here, like so. Now, another thing, I did go into another die set, and the die set that I'm using is the Seasonal Labels dies, and I'm using this piece. We used to have a punch that had something that could punch this out, but unfortunately it's not going to work now. So, because we don't have it anymore, it's retired. So I'm just going to go in actually with my, we want to make sure that this is in the right spot. So I'm just going ahead and putting my tear and tape right on here, and then sure that's good and burnished, and then I can go in with my take your pick tool, and let's just take that off. So like I say, we want to make sure this is going the right way. So I'm going to want this to go a little bit up on the top part. So I'm just going in and layering this right on here towards the more upper middle is where this is going. So where this is going to go now is I want this piece here, and I'm just actually going to just do a little tiny pencil mark just so that I know that this is going to be the front, top, and the bottom. So just there. And then I'm just going to, oh, and that didn't even work. Let's see. That's going to go in. So I just want it right up about there. And then I'm going to just bring in, let me just bring in my cut and emboss machine. And we're just going to just get this stuff moved out of the way. All right. What a well-loved plate, right? All right, so I'm going to go in with this, and I have that die. Now this is going through 3 pieces, and this is a thick basic white, so it's going to be very, very important that we run this through a couple of times and get it even. So I'm just going to come in with my Post-it note tape, and I'm just going to go and run that through. And I think I'm going to run it through a couple of times, like I say. There we go. That should be enough for this particular one. I'll double check before I take it off. Yeah, it looks like it's cut through, so that's good. Just get this big machine out of the way. Unfortunately, we didn't have the choice of, whoops. We didn't have the choice of being able to use the little one. I would have loved to have used the mini, especially when I'm on camera. So see how this is just going to come off. I don't know if that could be used elsewhere, but, and then that has given us the buckle that we need for there. All right. So what is going to also happen, and I've cut a soft succulent out of the Stitch So Sweetly, and that's going to go in on there. And like I say, this is going to go down like this and work as a buckle there. Another thing that we're going to do, because we don't want this edge to be showing, is that this is the piece that goes on the inside. So let's just go and put that on. And then we're almost ready for our stamping. All right, so this is just going so. And then when I put this piece on, I'm going to put it on with dimensionals, but I'm going to put my dimensionals, this is the back side. I'm going to go in with my dimensionals. All right, let me grab a full dimensional pack. So I am going to then, this is the part that's going to go onto that one side. So I'm just going here and here. Now that should be enough on there. So this one should have been over a little bit more. So let's just quickly put that over there. And then this just goes like this. And see, like I say, this is the part that goes down here like a buckle. All right. And then we're also going to pop up this part with the dimensionals. I find that these Stitch So Sweetly dies look so good together when they've been put on with lots of dimensionals. All right. So here we go here. And then the stamp that we're going to use is we are going to use this stamp. Let's just bring that one out. And we will put that onto our block. Kind of a big block for that. And then we are using our memento. And by using the memento, what we're doing, I can then color this with blends. Now, depending on what you're going to color it with, you can color it with your watercolor crayons. You can color it with your, that's a little right there. Okay, let's go again. You can watercolor pencils. You could do it with your blender pens. You could do it with any of that sort of stuff. All right. Now, another thing that I always usually do is I go ahead and I cut this out first. And the reason I cut it out first is because sometimes when you cut it, it tends to slide. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I've cut it out and then I'm going to color it. So I've already gone ahead and cut out one piece of it. And then I'm going to come in with my markers that I'm going to be using, or my blenders that I'm going to be using. So the colors that I'm actually using is I'm using Soft Succulent, I'm using Cajun Craze, and I'm using So Saffron on here. So I'm just going to go in and color with my, and I think I'm going to saturate this paper. Very important that you saturate your paper when you're working with blends. And also to make sure that you've let that memento ink, the memento has already, make sure it's good and dry. So I'm kind of doing a flicking sort of thing here. I don't want it all colored, because I'm going to come in and do a bit of that afterwards. So I'm also going to use a bit of the Cajun Craze just to give some more dimension on these particular petals. Not a lot. And then I'm going to come back in with my light, So Saffron, and I'm going to go in circles just to get that blended. And you don't have to color everything, but what you want to do is you want to get those lines off of there is what you want to do. Now I'm also going in to do this part here because I just want a bit of saturation. And then I'm going to come in with my light Cajun Craze as well and do the button part of this flower. And I'm going to go back in again. I just want to make that, I'm thinking maybe I could even go a little bit more in there. There we go. There. You just want it to be, you know, like very blended with the rest of the flower. And then I'm using my light and my dark Soft Succulent. So I'm just going to saturate part of that. I'm using the Soft Succulent because that's the color that I'm using on the front of the card, and that's going to bring it in, like tie it all in together. Now you notice I've left a lot of white on there, and that's done purposely. There we go. And then I'm just going to come back in and just get rid of those really, really dark areas by going in circles, leaving some white space. And that's going to add more coloring to this part. And you know, I kind of want a little bit less in there. So I'm going to actually come in with my color lifter. Oops. And then I'm just going to actually, the reason I marked that on my arm is because I want to make sure that there is enough of, that this is still good, this color blender. But see, that kind of gives a bit more definition on there, right? Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my little tiny dimensionals, or my mini dimensionals, and we're actually going to put this across here. So we'll come back in with my Take Your Pick tool. Don't know what I'd do without this tool. This is one of the most versatile tools. Let's see, I probably could have used some big ones. Probably should have used some big ones as well. But I do want this to be popped up quite a bit, so I'm going to go in with one more and put it on this leaf. Okay, let's just take these off. Whoops. There we go. Not sure. Oh, I know, probably because it's a bit wet, because I've got it quite saturated. I'm going to have to take those off differently. Take them off carefully because I want them to stick. Look at that. It's not coming off. And that's because the alcohol has been blended correctly. When you've actually used your blends in the way that they were intended, you're going to see this coloring onto the back. Oh my goodness, this is not coming off for me. I'm going to go in and I think I'll try some bigger ones now. Once you play with your dimensionals a little bit, you'll find that they don't stick as well as they would have. So you want to make sure that you have that good and stuck. So we'll put the big one on there. There, now it's dry, so. Okay. Just go back in with my little ones because that's dry now. Good tip, right? Make sure that your blends are dry or else your dimensionals won't click with it. All right, so we have that there, just like that. And then what we want to do is we want to go and put a sentiment on there. Now, as far as the sentiment goes, I think we could do them in different ways, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to have it kind of go across here. And I'm thinking what might be a good sentiment is these ones are quite big type sentiment, so I thought maybe I'll do a good luck one. And what we can do is I can go in and, whoops, that block is not big enough. And I can go and use soft succulent with that as well. And there we go. So. And see, this particular die would cut that out. So let's just use that, bring in our mini cut and emboss machine, and let's try cutting that one out. And again, another well-used and well-loved plate. use them as long as I can use my plates. I do switch them back and forth, like turn them over so that they don't warp. So let's see if that's going to cut there properly. And like I say, this is from that fantastic seasonal labels dies. I love any kind of a die that has labels on it. All right. And now we can put it here. We can put it here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a dimensional. And I'm going to have it so that when it lifts up, and I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on there. And here. And then the good luck is going to be just like that. Now, going along with that suite are the brushed metallic dots. And I thought, geez, you know what? I'm going to use those dots. Now, I'm not sure which ones I should use. I think I'm going to use the brushed, these ones here. I think they will go really nice with this. So I'm just going to come in and let's put some dots on here. There. And then let's put another one on here. There. All right. And I think that's enough without any ribbon or anything like that. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did like that, give me the thumbs up. Another thing too, make sure that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. And also, if you do live in Canada and do not have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. I have a very generous reward program. Plus, I also give away tutorials each and every month. Just this month, and if you purchase this month as well, I'll also give you the tutorial for the celebration, which is a mega tutorial. It's over 30 different projects on there. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you have any questions, also make sure that you ask those questions and we'll go from there. Anyways, have a great day. Bye for now.